Okay, now here's one of my favorite things of all time in City Skylines. Look at this. This is the thumbnail right here. Isn't that so cool? And it moves too. So if anybody's watching this in the future, maybe you're watching in 5-10 years, everybody remember the time during the global pandemic, and we're finally getting out of it. So a year later, we're finally getting out of it. But check that out. Isn't that cool? After much feedback, today's episode, we are focusing on our highways. And the hashtag CandyFam literally got on me and said, hey, your highways suck. They need to be better. I am answering the call in this episode. So today, that's what we are doing. We are working on highways. Now, how do we work on highways? You might ask, right? Look at the scenery right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful early morning, maybe about 9 a.m., 8 a.m. in Cranberry County. We're on the outskirts of Cranberry County, right next to the rest areas, right when you come straight into the city, right? And so what you're going to experience today and what we're going to go over, again, we'll do the dual time lapse. I'll cut back and forth just with points of emphasis, but you guys can watch how we did this. And I use a couple tools. Let's start it off. I use a tool, and I'll show you really quick. I use a tool. It's called the intersection marking tool. And how you access this tool is you go to your roads. You obviously download in the workshop, but you click on this, and then you're able to click a junction area and then manipulate some lines. So back in the day, I used to do this with prop and decals. You would use the prop line tool and use some line decals and put those down on the road. It sucked though, because if the road was to move any way, then it would not work. Today in City Skylines world, they have all of the tools. So we're mainly using this tool, and alongside of just some cool techniques, I have some awesome highway. They're called the NAF. I think they're National American something. There's something like that. Go check it out in the workshop. But I'm exclusively using these highways for all the lanes. And we do a couple of cool techniques that I'll talk about as we drive throughout. But we're going to start on this side, go over to the, actually we'll do this full stretch of road, and then we'll loop back over towards the toll road that we will approach the intersection here shortly. But that's what we're going to do. So let's start the time lapse here. Okay. So starting off with this part here, and I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I don't know if I'm going to do like a first person. I'm probably just going to stay in cinematic camera, because you can get the gist from here. You kind of can't get the perspective, but you can get the gist. And I'm going to turn it up to about, let's say about noon. Beautiful. So it's about noon here. This is our first detailed intersection. So starting off, I wanted to really dial in the realism. And one of the things that I see across America, and specifically in, ooh, look at Southwest Jet just flying on by, specifically in Colorado, are these like wire barriers, and they typically put them on a side of the highway. Right now we kind of have it centered, not really, but it's fairly centered. They typically put it on the side of the highway, and it just looks super, super good. I love how that turned out. So continuing on, and everything, man, there's like little details, right? Like ramp, like this is a screenshot right there. And so the signs, lines, and barriers are this whole episode. But the fun part is it actually just turned out legit. It looks awesome. So we're going to continue down the road here. Little things that I can come back in detail. Like we could put some foliage up and around these walls here, retainer walls, and we can do a couple little detailed things. Down here looks fairly detailed, so that looks pretty good. We have some rocks there, and so we can kind of continue that. But continuing down, the next exit, we have the state prison. Something, I think maybe like a power line or something's right there. Boom. So we have the state prison. And I try to do like little cool details. So what I saw, And my research is fun. My research literally comes from me driving around and just taking notes in my phone over the past few weeks here. And so I saw that a lot of the highways utilize these markers instead of barriers everywhere. So when you have such a rural highway like this, you utilize a lot of these markers to keep people in place. State Prison next exit. There goes a sign that we've yet to detail. So that's coming soon. I don't know what to put there. I think I want to like advertise the fact that there is the airport. The airport's probably the next 2 exits. So I kind of want to advertise that. I'm not sure yet. And then you have the return. You have the rest area there and all the markers coming down. So continuing on, driving down the street, we have the speed limit signs. Gotta love that. And on the other side of the road, we have just like the preview of the rest area. So it's like, hey, rest area next exit. And then it has like the tourist information sign on that side as well. Continuing down the next exit, you have gas. You have you don't actually have a hospital. You have food, lodging, gas, and a phone. There's no hospital. Maybe there's like a clinic somewhere off. Yeah, I guess there kind of is, right? The jail could be considered a hospital, maybe. Continuing, we have the exit, one of the exits for Gannett, the back in Highway Road, and then we have the State Prison exit. That looks super good there. Driving down, have the exit sign. Again, super detailed here. And this view just looks super cool. And I made the decision. We're going to do some first person here and there, but I kind of struggle, right? Because some of these intersections on the outskirts, I don't know if I want to put like, or I didn't, right? I didn't put a lot of detail work in it just because it kind of doesn't require it, right? So on the outskirts of town, like these people that live or that maintain this stretch of highway, you know, the Cranberry County Department of Transportation, they're not really caring about these outskirts, right? So we just do some guardrails, nothing in the middle. Maybe some cable barriers should be here. Yeah, probably some cable barriers will be there in the future. Maybe that's an oversight, but you guys can get the gist. We have Cranberry International Airport, Cranberry Oil Company. Next exit, we have these awesome looking billboards. Whoever made these, you're a genius. Those look so good. Okay, now here's one of my favorite things of all time in City Skylines. Look at this. This is the thumbnail right here. Isn't that so cool? And it moves too. So if anybody's watching this in the future, maybe you're watching in 5-10 years, everybody remember the time during the global pandemic, and we're finally getting out of it. It's a year later, we're finally getting out of it, but check that out. Isn't that cool? Just have like a reader board sign. And the funny part is I've actually seen this actual sign in my own home state of Colorado. Like this sign actually exists on these message boards. So I think it's a cool representation in this city that will kind of live on forever. Like I don't anticipate changing this. And hopefully maybe one day in the future, I'll come back maybe in the next, 3 or 4 years, and I'll see this sign and remember the times that we just went through. So isn't that cool? Super cool. Continuing on, we have this intersection, or this, what do we call these? We call this like a turnpike. Some people call it, I don't know what people call this. All I know, like in Denver, we call it the mousetrap. I guess it's an intersection, right? A highway interchange. That's what it's called. I looked it up. A highway interchange. So we have the 2 main signs here. We have University City, which if you continue, we're calling this stretch a highway Interstate 100. I don't know if there's an Interstate 100. There probably is. And so if there is, I'm sorry, Interstate 100 city people that where you live. I apologize in advance, but we have the airport emphasis there. And then one cool little detail that no one will probably really notice, but I made sure to put toll on both of these signs. So when you're exiting, you can know that it's a toll road. But check this out. Doesn't this look cool? We have some terrain issues with some of these. When you're looking from the ground, it actually, you can't really tell. And so when I was designing it, that's really what I was designing it for. But doesn't that just look super, like this view right here? Again, a lot of this episode, when I'm cutting in and out of the time lapse, are going to be for views. And this intersection in Cranberry County, to have an intersection like this, again, this is how you know it's connected to like a main city, because this intersection looks legit. All right, let's take it. So you have multiple ways you can go. If you're going left side, which would be north, again, there's no north and south. So, or I haven't determined north and south, because Where it says Gannett on the top right, that would say probably north, and then where it says toll, that would probably next to that would probably say south. But you have your 2 airport signs that look super cool, and then you have this intersection. We use the line tool on all of them, and so looks pretty good. Continuing on this way, got the line tool on all these, and again, this is the Candy Oil Company, and then the town of Gannett would be right there. So you can take this toll road if you want. If not, you can take this exit here. It's going to be much slower, but it's free. So there's that. There's a lot of like details that can go in here. I'd probably put some rocks and some foliage here. I haven't spent too much time on this interchange in a while. So I just upgraded all the roads, and to get everything kind of solidified. Like, this needs to all be upgraded, but that is for another episode. If you're on the return, you can see here the town of Gannett is there. If you want to go University City that way, same thing down there. So we're going to take the University City exit, just in interest of this continuing on. And so, yeah, that's the interchange. That's the only interchange in Cranberry County, I believe. So we're going to try to hop back on the highway here and just continue driving. The vibes that I got for this city was like super Florida vibes. I don't know why. It just reminded me, obviously the green, there's no grass, right? Florida has this green grass everywhere, but I don't know, it gave me little Florida vibes with the trees, and it looked very swampy. It was pretty cool. So driving along the road, you have the left lane ends, and so you have a little traffic jam of all the merging traffic here. It's a big merge point. There's so many people in Cranberry County right now. It's a hustling and bustling outskirts city. And so it looks like the speed limit has changed. We're driving down, and there goes my Interstate 100 signs. So you're on Interstate 100. They look kind of funny just because I'm still working on that. Don't judge. Some cool signs there. I think I want to do like a construction zone on this highway. Maybe that's coming soon, but stay tuned for that. You have the Cranberry Speedway, next exit. And so obviously that's a major point of emphasis in Cranberry County that will promote it. So Cranberry Speedway, next right has all of the above except for the hospital. And then exit 184. I wish I could customize this, right? Because we actually do have a Days Inn, a Holiday Inn, and a McDonald's on an exit coming up. So obviously it's not exit 184, but there's truck parking, there's a McDonald's, and then there's 2 lodging spots that are legit. Okay, we're coming up to a crossing. So this crossing is really, really cool. It's actually pretty detailed. I don't know if I'll get to show a lot of this. I'll show some of it, but we utilize the red rocks technique. That's one of my favorite techniques now. I'm going to utilize that literally everywhere. But this is where the train lines cross over. So these train lines, for some reason, and I have no clue why, I'm still trying to figure that out after the fact, right? Like, the train lines cross over just to cross back over. And there's some development for sure with the Cranberry Speedway and the Speedway District. So I'm still not sure though. I'm not totally sure why I had those crossover. So there's that. And so continue to drive down. Trains on the right side, and then we're climbing up a hill. On the left side, just off a little bit to the distance, you can see the Cranberry Speedway little tower there. And then actually on the right of us will be coming up on the airport. Let's see if we can get a little glimpse of it. So you can see the Cranberry International Airport right there. Looks pretty cool. It's off in the distance. And so continue roll down. There's a lot of details. We have this cool fireworks stand. That's super Colorado. I love it. Amtrak train driving by. Let's look at that. That's cool. Little small Amtrak train. But check out that billboard. That looks super cool. Lowest prices in town, 1 mile west of I-65. Again, of course, none of those are. Why is the NYPD police in Cranberry County? Love it. Of course, none of those will be realistic, but you get the detail point, right? Off to the side here. So that's the Speedway District. That's the Cranberry Speedway District. And just awesome, nice houses, a lot of trees, super private off the highway. And then we have this like noise barrier as an ambulance drives past. We have this noise barrier, and the goal is to keep noise out. And then we have these cable barriers in the median there. and then a guardrail to the right. Home Depot, that is actually the next exit, so it's super fitting. And then we have another one of these message reader boards. COVID-19 mask mandate. Love it. Continue to drive on down. You can see off to the right, you can see the Red Rocks National Park off in the distance. Doesn't that look so cool? Look at that. Looks super cool. You're like driving down, you're like, oh wow, what is that? Continuing down, a little bit more billboards. This is probably one of the funniest stretches of highway, right? It's kind of mundane because you have all the houses, and it just gives you a realistic glimpse of how big everything actually is, right? We have Linden Boulevard. Linden Boulevard is a major exit for the Cranberry Speedway. And so kind of an oversight. We didn't make this 2 lanes, but you get the gist of it. Like major exit, looks good. You have the train line that dips over. And just to show you guys in context where we are. So you have this train line that drips over, and that goes this way all the way to the main city center end, right? So the main train depot. And this space is hustling and bustling. Big shout out to y'all who had some insight on how to get people up and around here. And now this place is super full. What I did was I added a bunch of housing, high-rise housing, and I put the terrain all the way down. I sunk the housing down into these buildings. And so all these people are actually at home. Pretty cool, huh? And so it gives the illusion that a bunch of people are coming to shop, but actually a lot of people live in Costco, if you think about it. They actually live in Costco and Target. And so it just gives the illusion of people actually using this spot and the surrounding areas. And so before, maybe like 20 minutes ago, this place was like insane. And so it looks way more manageable now. I'm excited because it was a little bit like not realistic. It looked crazy. This intersection's a little bit weird. I have to admit to you guys, again, I'm showing it, so go ahead and roast me in the comment section, but this is me being vulnerable. It's a little bit different. You have like this random road here, right? So maybe in the future, this road would continue, I guess, down that way. And then you actually, instead of the interchange being here, because if you think about it, this would be the main road. And so you would have an exit on and off ramp, an exit and entrance ramp right here, and that would connect like a major piece of the city. The issue when I did that, and I actually did this, it created so much traffic. It was insane. Like you had traffic everywhere. So what I decided to do was create traffic this way, kind of funnel it through this way, and then have some pretty high capacity lanes that they don't know how to use, obviously. And then we use the mod to make sure both people turn. There's 2 turn lanes there, but put some high capacity lanes here, and then an access road in the back so you can access this area, right? So it's a little bit further, but it actually helped out tremendously. A little bit, right? I'm saying tremendously. It actually helped out a little bit on the traffic. Okay, back to the highways. Again, everything's super detailed, and hopefully it looks good. You guys let me know down below. Continuing down. So we're approaching the first ever build in Cranberry County, which is the truck stop. So let's continue here. Let me go down to the road real quick. So right here you have, what's it called? Laurel Avenue. I love this. I love this because some of these I don't even remember the names of, and they're the actual generated names too. So here we have the actual like food signs, and these signs look legit. Obviously none of this stuff like means anything. None of this stuff is on there. Like, okay, we do have a Burger King, we have a McDonald's, but we don't have a Subway. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff on those signs that are actually not on here, but you get the gist, and this looks super good. And so first ever district, gotta love it. Same thing with this. We have just a crap ton of people over here finally utilizing this parking lot. So it looks like they're staying at this this Holiday Inn and at this Days Inn. So turned out awesome. The funny thing is though, is no one's shopping, right? You guys remember last episode, everybody was shopping. No one's shopping now. I don't know why. Good old city Skylines. Continuing down, we have the town of Troy. And so let's see what we're doing. The next exit would be the Troy exit. So you have Dean Street, Troy District, exit 1.5 mile. And if you continue in this left lane, you're just going to go to University City. That's the ending destination. So off to the left side here, you have all of the stuff we built probably in the last 3 to 4 episodes. Looks really, really good. Then you have Dean Street. Dean Street is the main feeder for the Troy district. And so again, another weird interchange. These interchanges are just weird. This is actually the road over to the Troy district, but the interchange is right here. So you actually have to double back. So interchange, double back. The reason, I don't know the reason why. It's because of how this was built, right? So you have this train access area. So I don't know. It just was fitting. Again, I tried a bunch of ways. I tried to go up. Everything looked super unrealistic and high. It was like super high. It didn't work out. So that's where we landed. I actually like it. It gives it a lot of character, not having the same interchanges throughout the city and having this cool, like, I don't know. It kind of signifies the fact that Cranberry County has a little bit more money, right? So instead of having railroad crossings, you have this awesome elevated piece that you can totally ignore the railroad and get to your business. So that looks awesome. Continuing down, again, Troy District, historical Troy District's on the left. Okay, so, and this is the back. If you think about it, this is the back side of the Troy District. So this interchange, again, it's not huge, it's not major because the usage of it is not crazy. So if you think about it now, we're entering the area with the most population inside of Cranberry County. This area single-handedly, the next 2 or 3 exits have the most people. So you have your Main Street here. Main Street again also connects with University City, which is that way. And so you have all these back roads. The infrastructure on this side of the highway is definitely mirroring now this side. And so you have all the infrastructure, all the roads, everything's kind of being prepared for the next round of suburban housing district. So look at that. That's like a cool screenshot. It's a cool scene. I like how that turned out. Okay, continuing down. So you have the Main Street exit. This was one of the original exits. This gets used a fair amount. And so this is the front side of the town of Troy and the historical district. So continuing down the highway here, little details, little subtle details. And again, guys, I know if you're watching so far and you're like, these details suck or there wasn't enough, there's so many things that I have to like take into account and say, okay, do I spend another, 6 to 7 hours on even more details, right? So sometimes we have to make, the choice. Okay, so next exit is University City, Cranberry University. That's fun. We have see, I always show my flaws. So we have these awesome, like, retaining walls, but then our Springwood billboard is covered up. That sucks, but nonetheless, if you're driving on here, you can kind of see it. Looks cool. Continuing down on this side. So one thing that I tried to do, since the majority of the people, right? So say our main city was ahead of us. A lot of people actually exit this way. So I believe that we did a 2-lane exit for the Main Street on this side, right? Again, the most concentrated amount of people live on these next 2 exits. So we did 2 lanes as an exit ramp on this side of traffic. Maybe this is like the northbound side of traffic or the eastbound side, right? So whatever side this is, this side's way more popular, and we decided to do 2 lanes there. Got to fix my sign. Continuing on. So, okay, this is the most concentrated amount of people is at this next exit, and it's the University City. It's our biggest district. It's our most wealthy district. It's not the oldest, but maybe the second oldest district. And keep in mind too, as we're driving all along the left side here, that's eventually all going to be housing. So again, you're looking at the scale of everything. Like, you see how big everything and how big and massive everything looks as you're driving through. Like think about that. That's Red Rocks Park. That's the college off in the distance, those tall buildings. And so at scale, like Cranberry County is just massive. It probably would have took us a good 20 minutes to get from one end to the other. I mean, I don't even know how long we're on this episode. We're probably around like 20 minutes, you know, in real game time to get down here. So continuing on, and I probably chopped it up, so maybe we're right at 20 minutes. You never know. I never know until we go back because we're doing all this live. So yeah, we're approaching University City. Look at this. It just looks so cool. One big thing that I added, and I don't know if I like it. Let me know down below if you like this. I added a bunch of power lines, and not like the small ones, like these big old tall power lines. And let me know what you think, because I think they look very fitting for this area, but they're a little bit close to the highway. I don't know if I've seen power lines like that close to a highway. I don't know if that's wrong, right, wrong, bad, good. I don't know. So let me know what you think down below. And then University City, again, double exit. So you have this highway split off into 4 lanes. We went from 2 to 3. Now we're at 4. And University City, Cranberry University exit. We're actually going to take this exit so you guys can see. Boom. Now I know a lot of people are going to ask me about, there's a mod called the node controller. I could not get that mod to work. And I know what it does. It smooths all these edges out. So one day, hopefully I can get that mod to work, but I just could not get it to work. Like I failed miserably. So, but I understand. I definitely will check out that mod. And boom. And then you have your University City. Man, University City is such a cool area. Look at that, University City. Just looks so cool. Boom, welcome to University City, Cranberry County. Then you have the Cranberry University. And then look at the interchange here. Right at the end, future housing on the other side there. So you have all these high capacity lanes. These new roads look so good. Continuing on, we're gonna take the entrance ramp back on to Interstate 100. Boom. Get back right on the highway. And then look at that view. You have the train off in the distance. I love this. Love it. This turned out awesome. All right, let's continue down kind of fast so you guys can kind of get the gist of the scenery. So again, all this is just University City. You have the edge of University City there and a bunch of buffered trains here. And then we're approaching, I'm calling this, I forgot what I call this, like US Route 21. So US Route 21, if you remember back in the olden days when we first started Cranberry County, there's this road, like you can see it off in the distance, and I'll show you guys that road. But this road actually takes you to the Belmont district, right? So Belmont is a district that we created all the way out there. It's like my farming district. It's called Belmont because it has the big Belmont Ranch. So this is kind of funny. And you can get to University City back here, right? So you have another interchange because this is a major entrance point to the city. And this is the last entrance point to the city. So if you're continuing on, you're going to a different city. So that's why we have this interchange here and not like a formal interchange, because this is like the back fast way to University City. Again, University City has so many people in it. It's the biggest district in Cranberry County. So for traffic purposes, it deserves this. I have a mod, it's called Traffic President, and it disables the despawn, or it enables the despawning of these cars. Now, what do I mean by that? These cars in this simulation, because this game is a sim, the simulation of this game will actually have traffic. I actually turn off that piece because I would have traffic jams like crazy. So I turn that off. Maybe one day I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's turned on. I would have traffic jams everywhere because there's too many people and our infrastructure can't really handle it. It's getting there now, but it can't really handle it. So this was a cool piece. You have north and south, and then this side goes up this hill here. Show you guys. This side goes up this hill. Super scenic too. Love it. It's a little bit undetailed, so there's that. Maybe we should put some markers or something behind it. but it goes up the hill and around, and then you can see the Red Rock National Park in the background, and you can get a direct shot there, or you can go down into University City, right? So you see that actually flows into University City. And then this side right here, this goes up this street. So this highway, and this highway is gnarly, man. Like, it's cool, but it's just straight up, straight up, man, forever too. Like, but it's cool because you can see the views when you get up there. So this thing goes all the way up at the top, all the way up, and then curls down, goes back down, and then it connects over to the town of Belmont, and then eventually Candy Oil Company. So, okay, we're wrapping it up. We have like this water district. I can't get my water to flow. I don't know. There's some things that we'll work on with water, but water has just been interesting in this city. Like, this whole thing should be flowing all in here, right? So we're still working on it. We're still working on it. Maybe need to increase the water over here. But we have a little river canal that we're going to fill with water eventually. You guys can see it go down. But that about does it for the highway district, right? Like, everything is, I mean, it's not crazy detailed, but it definitely works, right? Belmont, University City, and then you're entering the city here. So one last thing I'll show you guys is here we go. This stretch of road, and I'll go over it quickly, but we even tried to detail this stretch of road. So you have cool things like mile markers and little signs, truck use right lanes, things like that. And so again, this is the nice highway, right? You could take all the streets and roads and that super tall road that we just went over, but if you got some money, you need to take this toll road. This toll road is literally where it's at. Like, this is the cream of the crop right here. So this is the way that I would take it. Look, it even has like, what highway do you know of in Cranberry County that has like lights? Even that's a luxury. We don't even have highway lights. There's lights at major interchanges, but we don't have like highway lights. So I think that's super, super cool. But yeah, so we'll go back and detail that. It's slightly detailed, but yeah, that will do for this episode. Okay, next episode, let's talk about it. I want to give you guys some of my plans for everything. This area I've already started working on. This area right here is our military base. So it's going to take up this whole entire stretch of land. That's one of the reasons that we have this road here outside of the toll road, right? Because you might be asking, like, why do we have like more, like another road, right? So that road leads directly to Gannett and this whole stretch of land. And I just want you to get the vastness of like this property. Look how big that is. This whole stretch of land will be the military base. So we're going to actually do that in a few episodes. I'm already starting on it. But one thing that we have to do now that we have the traffic infrastructure kind of dialed in, we now need to do some transportation infrastructure. And I got a bunch of cool things coming, right? So I downloaded a bunch of buses. We're going to do taxis, buses, trolleys, cool things like that. Like, I want to do a trolley in the main street. So next episode is going to be one of those episodes, just like this one is. These episodes are a little bit longer, but they have a little bit more meat in them. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that. So make sure you watch the next episode. I know you guys love traffic. You guys love traffic management, and you love transportation episodes. Some of my biggest episodes are transportation episodes in Palm Island and also in Apple Mountain Valley. And we dabbled a little bit in it with Hawthorne Springs. A lot of you have been asking me about Hawthorne Springs. That is coming back when I am finished with Cranberry County. So maybe second part of the year, we'll start building back in Hawthorne Springs. And then Hill Valley, I'm deciding on it. Let me know if you want that series to come back for all of you City Skylines players that don't play with mods. The numbers weren't that great on it, so I kind of discontinued it. But maybe that's a place for the second channel. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Enjoy some cinematics. Peace.